Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of my live tea tasting. I've got exciting tea for you guys. Today I always struggle, I always want to say blend. It's not a blend, it's a tea. But I have an exciting tea for you guys today and I'm thrilled to bring it to you. It's a kind of tea that I haven't done for a while, but it's about time because this is a classic. I'm going to taste for you guys today some Fujian Baroque. And Fujian Baroque is a Chinese oolong, which I haven't done in quite some time. Hey, Snea, welcome. I haven't done in quite some time because I haven't really had one on hand for a bit. But this one I was able to pick up, and I'm grateful for that because it's been quite some time. I haven't had a good Chinese oolong in a while. So that being said, let's take a look at what they look like. So we'll start off with the dry leaf. It's about a medium cut. Why don't you share your package ideas on stream? Because I don't have that big of an audience who's going to give me a lot of feedback. That's why. But we'll see. Like, maybe I'll post something on the group later. I don't know. We'll see. But that being said, so I guess the cat's out of the bag, but I'll explain that a little bit. So, it's about a medium-sized leaf, medium to long, a little bit stringy, kind of looks like a vanilla bean shape, where it's, of course, not as long or thick as a vanilla bean, but it's kind of stringy, it's a little bit twisted. Just like me, and nice. It's got a nice dark brown look to it. Slightly golden tips. Let me pull one out with the tip so that, yeah, you guys are gonna have a hard time seeing it. So it looks like it's a hair. It's pretty much golden. It matches my skin tone, so I can't really, it's not going to show up very well. But that's okay. You guys get the idea. It's a golden tip, or in this case, it was a full golden leaf. But that being said, that means it's going to have a not as, you want to see, let me see if I can pick up a better one. Because there are, oh wait, here's one, if my fingers can separate. There we go. Okay, in comparison, yeah, this is going to be a little bit easier. In comparison, the one on the right is slightly lighter than the one on the left. It's hard to tell again because, you know, the camera's not able to pick it up. But that usually entails more of a malty and a sweeter taste. You can't make it out. Yeah, it's going to be difficult. It's the cameras. The cameras aren't that detailed enough. Plus, it's close to my skin tone, so it's a little bit difficult to really see the difference. You have to see it live. But you know, like if you do, you'll have to buy your own and you'll be able to check it out from there. But that being said, in comparison, the steeped leaf is a lot different. It's a little bit lighter. Ooh, I'm spilling tea all over my computer. That's not good. It's a lot lighter. It's a lot more on the red side. Maybe like a chocolate kind of coloring to it. You can see the leaves themselves are kind of cut a bit short and a little bit ragged at the top. And it's got, I don't know if you guys can see, it's got a little bit of a shade of green. It's not really showing up very well on the camera. But that just means that it's an oolong, so it's not 80% oxidized the way black teas are. So you're going to have that little bit of a color difference In this case, since it's a Chinese oolong, it's going to be more on the brown side and you'll have a difficult time seeing it on the camera, but it's more of a greenish brown than a full-on brown and black tea. So that being said, you saw that it's cut up. It's about, hey Gotham, welcome. It opens up quite a bit from its original stringy hair-like shape. And you see it's a lot wider, not much longer. Good thing, because it's only going to expand out, not up. Now let's take a look at the liqueur. The liqueur is nice and golden brown. It's like a little bit malty, and it's clear. Like, you can see my hand right through it. And I just love these kinds of teas because it's gonna have a darker and or sweeter taste. It's not going to be as heavy, or it shouldn't be as bitter. Hey, Ma, welcome. It shouldn't be as bitter if it's oversteeped. This one, since it is an oolong, I had to understeep it for 3 minutes at about 200 degrees. I didn't do the full 12. Hey, Greg, welcome. I didn't do the full 212 because that would definitely oversteep and make it hard on the palate. But that being said, this was done at a little bit less than the 212, maybe around 200 for 3 minutes, and that does make a big difference. So right off the bat, it's a nice earthy aroma. And you're gonna get a full-bodied flavor to it. Hopefully, it's not gonna be bitter. Now, I have messed up Chinese oolongs before, and it comes out really bitter and astringent, and oh, it's nasty. But when you do it right, which I'm hoping I did here, you're gonna have a softer taste on your palate, less bite on the back of your throat. So let's go ahead and take our first slurp. Ooh, that is perfect. Oh, I did good for this one. So the first thing that really pops out is that earthy malt. It's not astringent at all, at least not to me. I'm not feeling any astringency down here in my throat. Now that might change as it cools. Sometimes astringency comes out later on in the steep with the darker teas. But as of right now, it's nice and smooth. Has notes of nuts, a little bit of honey, a little bit of earth. Slight smoke. But I want to say that this is delicious. It's one of, like, I don't often go for a dark oolong unless it's a rock oolong. But this one in particular is on the darker side, and it tastes kind of like a Darjeeling, which is a lighter black tea. It's softer on the palate, has less ick when you swallow, and it gives it a nice robust flavor. There's a slight smokiness that I'm enjoying, but the tea itself is just absolutely like I'm having trouble restraining myself from drinking more. I love the way it just settles on my tongue. It's got very, 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 very light mouthfeel. There's no, there's no texture to it. There's no heaviness that sometimes you get from a dark tea. It's very watery, very liquidy. It goes down really smoothly. And it's a very slow burning tea too. It sits, mostly I'm tasting it on the back roof of my mouth. And as I breathe, it circulates and I taste it over and over again. But because it's not bitter, it's giving me that really nice aftertaste that just kind of settles in. And I find it relaxing. I'm still waiting for the astringency to kick in, but this is really, really nice. Like I'm not getting any at all. I'm getting actually kind of notes of wood, notes of like rock fruit, like a peach. Very, very light. What kind of wood? I don't know. I don't eat enough wood to make a comparison. If I were to guess, I'd say kind of like a cedar. It's kind of fragrant. Not like pine. No, not like pine. Maybe an oak. Maple might be a little bit too sweet to describe it, but I would say with like a cedar or an oak, something to that sense, where it's a lighter, less scented wood, and something that let me see if I can get anything else. Kind of like a sawdust kind of smell to it. You know, like somebody has been sawing maple, not maple, what is it? The, what did I say? I'm reading the thing. Cedar. Like somebody's been sawing cedar, and just like that aroma affects the palate. That's what I'm getting from this. It's actually really, really delicious. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Now, keep in mind, this is a caffeinated tea because it has that Camellia sinensis plant in it and nothing else. So you're getting a full, hey, Valerie, welcome. You're getting that full flavor from it, that smokiness, that earthiness. It's a very, to me, it's very soothing, where it just rolls around on the tongue every time I speak, every time I breathe. And it's the kind of tea that I can see myself just sitting down and relaxing and drinking, maybe reading a book at a quiet night, just to, you know, like to pass the time and really find a sense of self. You know, it's important to be mindful when you drink your tea, because experiences like that don't come very often. You know, it's drinking teas should be a very peaceful, very positive experience. And if you're not in the moment, you're missing out. Like a lot of people drink tea to wake up, and that's fine. You know, I used to drink tea at my desk at work while I was at Groupon. And it would be so easy to just sit there and type away at a computer and drink my tea and then, you know, like forget that it's there. Like at that point, it just becomes an object. But to be mindful with your cup of tea is to find a certain kind of peace in yourself, and to be aware that you are there, you're in the moment, you exist. and that moment should be a very positive and relaxing experience all around. And I say that because, last night I had an experience where I was teaching a class at Gilda's Club, and everybody loved it, but it's hard to reach people when you're to drink tea and to be present in the moment until you bring it to their attention that they should be in the moment and to experience it and to drink it and to enjoy it. That being said, I always love to start my presentations with just a general awareness that, this is something that should be a positive experience, something that you should drink, something that you should think about as you ingest it. So my lessons are always conversational. I want to know what it is you're thinking as you drink, what new discoveries you have, what questions you have, what you're feeling in the moment, what you're tasting in the moment, when you're breathing in, when you're breathing out, what is it that you're sensing? And so it's very, very important that you keep that not in the back of your mind, but mid to forefront, so that you don't lose a moment while you're slurping. And so if you watch all of my streams and you take away one thing, it should be that. Every cup of tea should be enjoyed, and every cup of tea should bring you awareness that you exist and you are in a positive environment, hopefully. So it all depends, but never forget, when you drink, you slurp, you experience, and you just be. That's my philosophy anyway. So anyway, back to the tea. I went off on a pretty good tangent there, but I'm loving the cooler it gets, the more woody it gets. I'm still tasting that earthiness. It's very light, very sweet. Not sugary sweet, of course, but it's like semi-sweet, like a semi-sweet chocolate. 70% cocoa kind of thing. Hey, Miriam, welcome. Oh, it's so nice. Oh, I forgot to do the Thomas taste. I'll do the Thomas taste in a moment, but something just hit me. As I breathed out, I tasted my entire mouth filled with the tea, with the vapors. And it kind of tasted like just a hot chocolate, a hot dark chocolate kind of taste to it. And it just kind of like evaporated into the air. It was very pleasant. I'm really enjoying this tea, by the way, in case you couldn't tell. But let's go ahead and do the Thomas taste. So that's bringing up a lot of a cocoa kind of flavor to it. A little bit woody, a little bit earthy, a little bit smoky, but it's really pleasant. This is by far this really one of my favorite Chinese oolongs, which I'm being very specific because it's so hard for me to pick different favorites. So I'm being very serious here. Where this is like a really good oolong that I would definitely recommend, as long as you don't mess it up, because I've done it before and I almost never drank it again. But then I realized my mistake. I gotta pay for it. Okay, so questions, comments, anything you want to talk about, now is the time. I always open up my question session with Teresa's question, what would I pair this with? This being a darker tea, but it's not super dark. It's kind of fruity, kind of chocolatey. So I would usually say, you know, something heavy, like a steak, or something with like a peanut sauce, like Thai food, pad Thai, something like that. But this being on the lighter side, I would say I would go a little bit lighter on the cuisine as well, and probably say maybe like a roasted chicken, smoked salmon, something on the savory side but not too smoky. Maybe a, how about dessert? Dessert would be easier to pair it with. Maybe like a Black Forest cake or a tiramisu. Yeah, you can mix chocolate, not chocolate, a coffee with tea. Get yourself really caffeinated. What was it? It was another one. It was, oh man, I just had like oh, chocolate mousse. That's what it was. Lipton has a coffee and tea blend. I don't want to know. I have no idea. We had a discussion about that last night too, about people who drink Lipton and it turns them off of tea because they just don't know any better. That was what everybody was saying, was like, yeah, well, I only drank Lipton and oof, I never really liked it. But you know, like when they drank this, they say, okay, this is the real stuff. You know, and it's you know, it's everybody's experience. So that being said, I'm going to open up the floor again. Questions, comments. Now's the time. Feel free to interrupt me. But I do have an announcement to make. The Chicago Tea Festival is coming up rapidly, a lot faster than what I'm comfortable with right now. And I am in the process of choosing a design for my packaging. So I am going to post 3 photos onto the group later on, either tonight or this weekend, Monday at the latest, if I don't get to it this weekend. So I'm probably going to have a poll where people can vote and let me know what packaging they like. The 3 finalists are gonna be great. Like I love all 3 of them. It's really hard for me and my wife to decide. So we're gonna throw it out there to you guys, and have a vote. Now keep in mind, I will explain this on the post as well, that there will be a separate label that goes onto the packaging for the name of the tea and the steeping instructions and the description. Ooh, excuse me. So you'll have all the information that you need before voting. And I would love to get your guys' opinions, because like this is going to be my debut. You know, I'm going to have a physical brand of tea of my own, and I'm going to sell it. And you guys, after the tea festival is done, my website should be up and running by then, and I'll be able to actually sell tea on a regular basis, as well as start taking orders a little bit at a time for tea experiences, both in person and online. So you guys would have the opportunity to book me for about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour. I might go longer because last night I went about an hour and a half. I tend to get a little bit long-winded. You guys know. Thankfully, it was a small group. You know, we only had about 4 people because the weather was just nasty, and so out of the 9 people that signed up, we had a lot of cancellations. And, like, I understand, we're dealing with, 1, they're senior citizens, 2, these are people who are either dealing with or recovering from cancer. So, I'm not going to blame anybody for not being able to make it. But that being said, since the group was so small, it was very conversational. Everybody had a wonderful time. And it was a wonderful experience. And I'll be posting some of those pictures at some point this weekend or again on Monday, depending. I'm just waiting for Gilda's Club to get their copies so that I don't want to like overshadow or anything. But yeah, these pictures are also going to go onto my website when they when it's available. So I already emailed them to my guy. He's gonna put them onto the site, and we're gonna compile and continue working on this thing. Oh, I am super excited, you guys, for this tea festival. We're only a couple months away. It's in April, so about 3 months away. And ooh, I'm getting chills just thinking about it. There's so much to do, but the lineup is just incredible. We have, you guys have seen on my group the announcements of the people that have been coming. We have tea vendors. We have people who sell and make their own teapots. We have a jeweler set up. We have a chocolatier and a baker. We have people who are in the arts. We have tea writers, and we have tea philosophers, and we're going to have speakers. And I'll be also doing my own presentation, you guys. So if you're going to be at the show, the schedule will be posted. And I'll let you guys know also what time it'll be in case you want to join up. Now, seating will be limited. I believe each room seats up to 2, 4, 6, about between 16 and 20, depending on whether we can fit 3 people in a row, 2 people in a row. I believe the max was 24, but we'll get all the details later. The important thing is I will be doing my own presentation there. I'm about 90% sure what it is I want to present. But if I change my mind, I change my mind. It's something that I haven't done yet, and so I want to make sure that I can run the full time. So I'm going to need some practice. That being said, if you have any volunteers who want to do this with me, I will set up a time with you either virtually or in person, and we'll do this. We'll get things done because I really want to make sure that I have a good amount of material to talk about. It's going to be wild. I can promise you that. It's something that not a lot of people do. But, because of that, I don't know what it is that I'll be dealing with. So hopefully I can stretch it out to about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour tops. Your guys' help would be incredible. And we'll get that done. Wow. I'm still not getting any astringency at all from this. I love this thing so much. So I will be posting the link to this tea at the end of the discussion. So be sure to check it out afterwards, and if you like it, that's another one that you can add to your list. So I'll go ahead and sign off. Thank you so much for joining me. This has been an incredible experience. Once again, I'm going to keep you guys posted on the Chicago Tea Festival. That way, I want to see some friendly faces there. Until next time, have a great night, a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you later. Bye!